Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to my channel, Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're gonna talk about how the heck Mars can save us on Earth. So let's dive deep into it. So first thing first, is there a problem that actually requires us to, expend the time, effort, money that needed for Mars? Well, unfortunately, yes, we have a problem. We have a serious problem here. Right now, humanity is a single failure point. Now, when we say human failures, you also have to understand there are also natural events that can boom us out of existence. Be it supermassive volcano, we actually do not have any technology to take care of it. We do not have, like, there are many things that on principle, on paper, we could do something, but right now those things are much harder compared to actually going to Mars. So realistically speaking, terraforming Mars, that's a different thing. That's a long-term game. But taking care of Earth right now, in some scenarios, it's flat out impossible for us right now. So there is a single point of failure. That itself is a big issue. No matter how good you are, no matter how egocentric you are, if you ever believe one is more than enough, you will learn the hard way that every person learns in the data industry. One copy of a data equals zero copy of a data. So Earth is our first try for management. Like, this is the first time humanity is like, okay, humanity has power. For last 200 years, we realized power is a thing, energy is a thing. We started to learn it, we started to harness it, we started to create world's biggest machine known as connected grid, and we started to utilize that. But it was our first try, like really first sloppy try. Imagine going to a kitchen and starting to cook something first time. It will be horrible. The same thing happened to Earth. We are young, and we do not have any luxuries that alien evolved race just came down and is like, here's a book. How do you handle yourself? How do you take care of the situation? How do you grow without consequences onto the planet? We have nothing. There is no elder race that is coming here and is like teaching us, bruh, I got this. You're young. This is how you're supposed to take care of it. We have nothing. So this is our first try. And again, first try. The output is like a first try. And why the heck we, humanity as a whole, cannot solve all the problems that we have? Well, we are not united as one. Like, there is no human done. What we have is culture, we have language, we have borders, we have boundaries, we have stuff. Basically, we have more than enough reason to boom each other rather than tackling the problem as one. We are not collective as one. The best case you can say is like humanity has collective one as a country. That's the best case scenario you can say. But we are not united as one. Like, there is no Earth Alliance. There is no such thing like that. And that creates a serious problem. Now, why the heck there is no Earth, like human, sorted? Basically, we do not have a threat. Right now, there is no threat. This was a joke back in the era of World War II, is that all the superpowers that were going boom, boom, boom with each other, is that even they knew, like, if alien invasion were to occur, like a real one, all the nation's problem, all the national hatred will disappear in 5 minutes. All the hassle will be sorted in 6 minutes, and people will go ready toe to toe in 7 minutes. That's how long it will take to poof everything. But we do not have an alien threat. We do not have aliens actually coming here and it's like, we're gonna boom you. And again, if alien actually managed to come here, they may be doing us a kindness if they actually gave us something that we can do. Because again, if you cannot cross light years, we do not have the technology to actually combat you. But again, that may be their way of like, hey, give them a small problem that they may be able to solve and unite us all. Tough love, let's just put it that way. So we do not have alien threats. On top of that, we do not have a desire for it. We right now think like having hundreds of language, having hundreds of cultural beliefs. I mean, those things sounds good, but those are fundamentally conflict creating. Like, you are literally sowing the seeds of conflict. So we do not have a desire for it. So that creates an issue. Now, the thing that horrifies me, this is my personal, like, for last 6 years I have been studying all the sorts of technologies. The thing that personally scares me to my soul is that we can end because of bureaucracy, not because of incompetency. Like, it's not like if I study human history and it's like, okay, humans have a problem known as global warming. Do we have a solution for it? Like, let's say pollution, petrol, fuel. Do we have a solution for it? Yeah, we had it in 1998. Like, we literally spent $25 million to develop it over 20 years, and we got a solution. Why don't we deploy it? Bureaucracy. Like, this was another recent thing that pumped hydro, closed loop pumped hydro, has the least amount of environmental impact on any system. It does have enough oomph to actually act as a big ass battery, and we have enough data, almost a century old data, to know that this will work. And this was happening, this conversation was happening in a Senate, Congress meeting and all that. And They asked us like, okay, if you have done the environmental studies, everything is done, and it's done by other organizations, as in like independent bodies and government verified, why the heck we have not built it? The answer was, that scares me. It's like we have all the solution. Right now on this planet, we have all the solution, all the technology needed to save humanity, and we are just going round and round like a dog chasing its own tail because of this bureaucracy. Like, competency is not an issue. Let that be very clear. If humanity tomorrow says we're gonna solve global warming in, like, let's say 35 years, it will be done. Let that be very clear. That's easy. That's how easy it is. We know the tools. We had the tools. We are just like, what about bureaucracy? What if we go hulululululu for 10,000 years? So that scares me. Like, the fact that humanity can go boom simply because, oops, red tapes. That scares me. And another aspect, this you must have noticed around you, is that whole world as a whole, collective unit, while we are not united, we are united in one thing. We are becoming hopeless. Everywhere, all the planet, like anti-natalism movement literally is becoming popular now. And if you do not know what it is, it's basically, is the most humane thing to do is not to have kids. Actually, I agree with it, but I do not agree for the same reason. But you get the point. And you may be like, that's not happening. That's just like, West and all that. No, it's happening everywhere on the planet. Oh, here's the fun fact. Iran is below replacement level in population. So like this sort of thing is spreading worldwide. This is like India, like in Bangalore and all that. So somehow entirety of humanity have reached this point where we are so hopeless, so caught up in our own mess, specifically bureaucracy, is that we are stuck. And hope is our essence of life. If we do not have hope, I do understand these people. I do understand. Let them be very clear. I do not hate them. I do not envy them or anger towards them. It's just like, I understand it. If hope is taken out of you, this will be the logical solution for it, so to say. And yes, it is the only logical solution. You cannot just go, oh, you're suffering honorably is honorable. It's like, no, it's suffering. It's just suffering is suffering. So that's the problem. Genuine, serious, real world problem. So whenever Neil deGrasse Tyson says, like, if we can take care of Mars, why can't we take care of Earth? Yeah, have you seen how many languages on Earth we have? And if you go to Mars, trust me, I guarantee you all the language will collapse into one very quickly. So what about Mars? Well, Mars is very far. Now that is a very good buffer. Like if we take care of Moon and start to colonize Moon will be way too affected by Earth's politics and geopolitics and all that jazz. Mars, because it's fundamentally far away, it will have a buffer, a distance sort of buffer. Now this sort of thing also happened during the oppression era of East India Company. Like in Britain, things were happening, but remote colonies, they did not even knew about it. They did not even heard about it. Even though changes happened, sometimes changes were left and something changed again, and that those were coming and it's like cancelled. It's like people did not even get affected by it. It happens. It's one of those benefit of distance. And when you have physically far, like when you are like, hey, at best case scenario, we're gonna get to you in 6 months, that creates a hard buffer, which used to be there, in humanity. But we have, like, because we got jet engines, basically we sorted that puppy. But having Mars as a very far distance and very hard to conquer, this puppy is hard. Right now, there is no problem on Earth that is hard to do. Like, we solved all the problem on Earth. So that creates a very serious requirement. Whereas like, hey, give us a hard problem. Like same way you go to gym, you actually push yourself. If you do not push yourself, you will have some fitness. But if you really want some like big gains, you need some punishment. You need some oomph. So it will be great for us. Like having a great challenge that we genuinely do not know how to solve will be awesome for us. Now, here's the deal. Why do I say we have solved all the problem? Here's the deal. We have solved all the instant problem. This is the limitation of human psychology. And it's not like, oh, I'm smarter than this, or you are dumber than me, or whatever have you. All of humans have this issue, is that anything that causes instant danger, be it animal walking by, a dangerous predator, we are like, we got this, bro. But anything that is slow, we cannot see. For example, you look into the dam constructions. Dam, we know mathematically that you are creating a reservoir. That fundamentally means you will have much larger surface area by multiple square kilometers. You are adding surface area where wind and sunlight will interact, which will cause excessive evaporation, much larger than it would have happened naturally. We know this, we calculate for this. Then the downstream, because its flow would be restricted exponentially, so that flow will also be reduced. That will also cause excessive evaporation. We know for a fact that doing all these two things together over time will fry out a river. Basically, you'll take a river, poof, gone, sir. What river? There was no river. We know this. We calculate for this, but because the calculation says 20 years, this will happen in 20 years, we just ignore it. It's like, and then we are like, how the heck this happened? I'm like for example, China, literally, their engineers are not stupid. They knew if they were building that many dams that close to each other, they will remove rivers that has not dried for thousands of years. For thousands of years, their rivers were like, we good. Droughts happened, we good. Like flooding happened, we good. Dams happened, we did. Like we know this. This is our limitation. Anything that is instant, our brain is like, we good, we got this. We are on it. We will solve it instantaneously. Anything that is slow, and specifically what we classify as creeping disasters, we cannot see. We are blind to it. And it is true with every human. Every single human is blind to creeping disasters, meaning like a drought. Drought is always shocking to people, even though it happened through the front door. That's the most shocking thing for me to understand about humans. But again, even I suffer from this. It's like, oh, why do not I take care of my back when I was young? I would not have had slip disc. Again, creeping. It was slowly becoming bad, so I did not notice it. Same with everybody. Like how people, and then like randomly it's like, oh, my lungs. It's like, yeah. Creeping disasters. We do not possess the intellect to see creeping disaster. Basically, like Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's like, I move so slow that you become invisible. Yeah, that's actually true for us. Like, not joking, flat out true for us. Anything that is creeping disaster, we cannot see. For example, right now the demographic collapse. Now here's the deal. This is not happening to one country. Like this is a very good map, and we have bought into a lie that overpopulation is a problem, even though all the mathematical data, absolute mathematical data proves that it's not an issue. And yes, Earth has a limitation how much people it can comfortably accommodate. That number is in tens of billions, not few billion. Tens of billions have to be there before we reach the thermal equilibrium limit of planet Earth. So we sold this lie, and because it's a creeping disaster, we did not realize it. Like for example, Japan right now is like, we are dying. It's like, dude, you are not dying today. You died around 1970. Like South Korea. Oh, we are dying. No, you died long ago. You just noticed it now. Like Italy, we're like, we are dying. No, you died long ago. China, you're dying now. No, you died long ago. India is literally on the knife edge. If you take India, distribute by state, there is literally 3 to 4 states that is holding India's whole population. Otherwise, we will also be below 2.1. And below 2.1, ask any demographic expert, they're like, yeah, bro, you did. Below 2.1, you did. It's not if it's gonna happen, it's when it's gonna happen. If you have a large population like India, the degradation will happen slowly, but then it will catch up exponentially, and then you're like, huh, it only takes 90 years to poof it. But nobody will see it. Japan did not see it. China did not see it. India is not seeing it. Again, I guarantee you 10 years or 20 years from now, India will be like, what happens to all the Hindus in India? Why the heck we disappeared? Yeah, 1984, that's when we poofed ourselves. So it's one of those things. Like, and you can see this is the graph that you will see. What is the current 2022? I think this is the year data is there. They are showing red to places that have much higher reproduction rate, without realizing the fact they have to have this rate, otherwise they will literally go poof. And not to mention, this is the only region of this planet that can survive catastrophes. If you have any catastrophe, like really bad catastrophe, Japan will disappear. If you have any, because again, they do not have enough replacement population. They just don't. But because we bought into this lie, color, look at the color. Like it's blue, it's calm, no, blue is dead. Blue, it should be inverted. This should be the green part, and the part that is like exactly at 2, like India, it should be in yellow. But we have, again, this is happening slow. Like you look at into parliament discussion in Italy now, and it's like, we have to solve this. It's like 30 years ago, you could have solved this. Now you cannot. So the same thing, if anything that is happening as we classify as creeping disaster, we cannot see it. Right now, people will fight if you tell them, and you cannot win against that. You have to just let it go. Like again, I'm not the first one. There were many Chinese people who were warning China government, CCP specifically. It's like, if you build this many dams, we're not gonna have any rivers left. And then they're like, year 2020 caused the worst drought in entirety of recorded history. First time we are seeing basement of the rivers that we thought like unthinkable. How? Keep building dams. So it's very limiting of human nature, human psychology. Natural selection made us very quick to response, but we are very, very sloppy when it comes to slow moving disaster. Creeping disaster, they can come in through the front door and we'll have no tools to handle it. So how do we solve it? Well, we need something visceral, something very immediate, and something very shocking, like Mars. You put people on Mars, every human will pay attention to it. on a base level, where it's like, what is happening? Do you have air? Do you have water? We will not give a damn about our own water supply, but we will give a damn about water supply on Mars, because it's in immediate system. We can see it. It's not in the creeping disaster mode. It's not in invisibility cloak. It's not in our blind spot. We can see it, and it has benefits. So is it actually possible? Physics, engineering, economics. Can it be done? Can it be done? Like, do we have these 3 layers sorted? Or like, not right now, as in like not in 2023, but soon enough? Thankfully, the answer is yes. Base technologies are tested and ready to go, meaning you build it, you good. Like, we sorted it out. For example, big ass rocket. We have a huge ass rocket. We good. Power, because humanity learned the hard way that nuclear is not a very good system. However, we collected more than enough data to build tiny reactors which are safe, and that is ready to go for Mars missions. And we also have very advanced solar system ready to go. So power is also sorted. Private players, this is very interesting part. You never want to do this sort of exploration on basically backs of countries. It will start out like that, but it will never go far if you start with that. If you really want to go far, you always want private players, multiple of them, at least 3 of them competing with each other, and that it will sort itself out. You do not have to worry about, like, for example, the development that humanity experienced in mobile phone industry. Why? We had competition of 2 private players. The development that happened, like, we literally have mobile phones that will dwarf any technology that is in the modern battlefield. Like, we say, oh, military technology, no, it's outdated. Like, it has to be outdated because they spend so much time in testing. It's like they are testing a fighter jet's motherboard. One of my friend actually worked in that, and he was like, yeah, the testing regime is 18 months. Like, bro, we have a new generation of CPU in 18 months. It's outdated. Trust me, ask anyone. F-35, same thing. Look into F-35's mainframe, is like, bro, this is ancient. Same thing. You have private players competing with each other, problem solved. Now, it will claim some lives, let that be very clear. If we send thousands of people there, we're going to lose some of them or a lot of them. This is not going to be easy. This is the first time humanity has to look with horror, like same way humanity did during Apollo landing. Like, things could go wrong, and it will go wrong. Mars is not a loving puppy, so to say. It's going to be brutal. We're going to lose some puppy. However, given the tolerance of humanity right now, we can handle it. We literally have minors war, like 2 minor wars going on at this very moment, and it's like, we're just bored of it at this point. So we can tolerate it. We can tolerate it. Another aspect, do we have the finance for it? Technology, good. Engineering, good. Finance, well, yes, space economy is ready to take over, meaning it's reaching that point where private players will jump into it. We already have multiple private space players, and they are some is focusing on, hey, we are gonna grow crystals in space, so you're gonna have better medicine, better thing, more money. Some people are like, hey, we're gonna give you a space ride, space tourism, more money. We have multiple companies doing this. Benefit, private competition. Benefit, money. So that is ready to happen. That's like very soon around the horizon. And then we have enough people ready to take risk. Like, for example, if 10-20 years ago you talk to her like, we're gonna have a helicopter on Mars and it's gonna fly, people are like, bro, what are you smoking? We're gonna have a machine on Mars that makes oxygen. We have it. Like, we're gonna have a rocket that lands propulsively. We have it. So we're gonna have a rocket that can be refueled in space and go to Mars with very high tonnage. We have it. So we have more than enough technology that, like, again, you can keep stretching it, like, oh, what if we do this testing, but like, we reached a point where it's like, you want to go. If you do not want to go, you can keep trolling as long as you want, but we are ready. Like, we are as ready as we can be, like, physically speaking. And more than enough people are like, if you are like, hey, we want to go to Mars, and a lot of you may will not never return, and there's a very good chance you may go, boom, people will still sign up. Surprisingly lot of them, surprisingly lot. And we need this, we need hope. So what's the benefit? This is the interesting part. Like, why do I say Mars will save Earth? Well, here's the deal. Mars will force us to reevaluate everything that we know. We do not give a damn about water on Earth because it's abundant. We have to be damn sure about water on Mars. Basically, you go to Mars, you cannot just randomly pee. It has to be recycled. So you understand that. Like, it will force us to think in much more new dimensions that we never thought of. It will force us to take care of air quality. It will force us to build tools that allow us to do that. And here's the toolkit that we're going to develop would be much more quicker, much more immediate than a slowly dying Earth is going to give us in 100 years. That's a fact. I specified, like, humanity does not see creeping disaster. It's like blind to us. So And if you need proof of that, will that actually happen? War technology, like see medical technology before world wars and see medical technology after world war. Yes, medical technology, I'm not talking boom boom technology. Boom boom technology went ultra boom boom, but in terms of like medical technology, I was shocked. Like you should really look into how many medical technologies came out of boom boom era. It's exponential. The growth is like we are doing some growth, war happens, boom, like it's actually boom, like the exponential amount of growth happens. And competition, look at the result. Like we literally did this for a competition, like literally mine's bigger than yours, we had put human on moon. Like damn, that's what we want. Like the amount of technology that generated in Apollo era itself is like whoa, just like whoa. You need competition, you need something brutal, and Mars provides us that because Mars is hostile to human. We need something that is like, visual evil. Mars has that. Heck, we call Mars the god of war. So Mars is ready. Mars is like, bro, come to me, I'm gonna poof you out of existence. We want that. And it's a very great enemy to fight. Like, do you really want to go out of this world because you are fighting some boom boom boom? It's like, yeah, no point. But just like Mars, now, whoa, that's a serious enemy. Like, and eventually conquer it. Like again, humanity is god tier level when it comes to strength. A man can die, mankind cannot. So we are god level in strength. We need a challenge to like really focus. Like, we have a laser beam, but we need to focusing lens. We just say, hey, you gotta just focus that puppy. That's the benefit of it. Like once you force humanity to look into a focused place, problems will be solved. So why the heck? That's the physical layer. That's the meta. That's the real, that materialistic real. What about the meta layer? Meta layer, it will give us hope. Now, like, wait a minute, how hope can come from that? Well, it's the great filter. Right now, humanity has way too much people who are like either flat earther or Earth is 6,000. Like many things that you are like, dude, we spent time, we studied this, we sorted this out. Like Earth is not flat, bro. Like, bro, we done this. Like we got this. But we have that. But here's the deal. Would those people be allowed on Mars? Hell no. No, sir. Not at all. Nope. So that's a great filter for humanity. Basically, imagine it this way. How we have Olympics and we have like, hopefully best of the best of the best of the best competing there. Imagine doing that on a planetary level where best and the brightest and the strongest and like best of the best of the best of planet Earth going to Mars, because nobody lesser than that will survive. So, and here's the deal, it removes money from equation. The only people that can survive on Mars would be resilient people, because it will be psychologically brutal, and resourceful people. Only those will survive. So even if somebody can, with money, like, who have never put foot on soil, goes to Mars, they're not gonna last. Like Mars is a very real filter. It's like, dude, you mess up, you poof. It's not like, we're gonna call on UN to do this. No, sir, there is no one to call. The distance, that what helps us. So only resilient, only resourceful people will be surviving there. And there is another benefit. Our ideologies right now are not uniting us, it's dividing us. And again, we knew this. Like, this is like, if you have two different languages, they're gonna fight. It's like, yeah, it's like, welcome to humanity 101. Like, look at dogs. Whole planet doggy speaks only one language. Bow. We are just like, we have 10,000 ways of booming each other. So ideologies will be diluted. Why? Well, you're not gonna have, like, of course, at the rocket ship at launch, you will have all of that. It's like, oh, I'm from representing this culture, I'm representing this border. The moment you land on Mars, yeah, we actually need to work together to survive. It's same happens in army also. So during training, during trial and all that, everybody has like their own culture. The moment they actually go into the firing zone where it's like things are happening, all those dissolves away. Like, and you can see that, like, if that sort of harsh environment bonds them together into one unit. They do not give a damn, like, what is your skin color, what is your language, what border you are from, or what state you are from. It's like, bro, you bro, me bro, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I die, you take care of me. You die, I take care of you. As simple as that. So that a cruel, absolute environment, which do not care, is like, bro, you have to sort it out, will dilute all of it. All the languages will become one, because you have to. You cannot afford the luxury of, can we have a translator? You can't afford that luxury. You have to speak one language. It will literally force all of it into one pot, and that pot will be Martian culture. Expanse really showed it quite well. Like Earth had like sort of cultures and all that, and Martian is like, no, Martian, like, we have to. We cannot just afford like, oops, we have to be. And I really love the fact that they showed like they had a technology, but they were like, yeah, terraforming will take 200 years. So it's a really good thing, and it will give us freedom from past hate. And that is the biggest limitation right now. Like, why can't we solve everything on Earth? It's like, if you do this, like, for example, Egypt will trigger a war very soon, where it's like, oh, you built a dam in your river. I'm like, bro, you are surrounded by desert with oceans on two sides. Use a solar direct thermal distillation. It would be much cheaper than war, but people like war. But imagine you stripped all of that, stripped all the religious reason of going boom, boom, boom. It will basically give us freedom from eons of hate. Like, we have been hating each other for so long that we forgot that there could be a world where that's not true. We forgot it. Like a fresh start, where it's like, no, 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 bro, you go boom, boom with each other, both of you get poofed. Like, you have to. And even if parents manage to hold on to the legacy for one generation, two or three, gone, bro. Done. Sorted. So that's a very good start. And if Mars grows well, let's say they finally manage to touch 10,000 people, then they actually start to grow on their own, not relying on Earth. Like, on their own, they slowly start to grow. It's going to be brutal as hell. But again, best of the best, brightest of the brightest, resilient and resourceful people, they're going to grow, and they have best of humanity. They're going to grow much faster than we can imagine. It will force Earth to be like, hey, they might actually boom us again. So again, the Expanse also had the same thing. The only time humanity on Earth sorted itself out was like when climate crisis crossed the threshold, and when Mars actually became a threat, where they're like, no, we can actually boom you. And they're like, Earth was like, whoa, 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 what do you mean you can boom us? Like, hey, we gotta sort stuff out. So it will force Earth to grow. That is a desirable thing. Like having a competition. Like same way in Cold War era, we had two competitors, USA and Soviet Union. Soviet Union proved we do not have a competition right now. We need that competition. And yes, do not count China. There is a very good reason I'm not counting it. So that's our hope. Like, if we go there, it will force all our garbage to be burnt off. It's like a trial by fire, where it's like, no, 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 the past hate, yeah. There is no reason. I'm not joking, and I'm utterly saddened by this fact that there are groups of people in multiple continents that have been poofing each other for 1,000 years. I do not even want to count how many generations that is. That's just sad. And you're like, no, actually they did this or did this. Like, it means nothing. It means nothing. Like, if blood is that cheap to you, I'm sorry. Like, that's just like, you can justify it 10,000 ways, but it's not justifiable. It's like, yeah, no. That's why, like, Mars is like, it's just Mars, bro. Either you act as one or you go poof. So that's the hope with the why Mars is good for us. So this was my presentation on how Mars can save us. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please hit the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.